All right, everyone, it is Thursday night. Welcome into the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. We are here for my live reactions to Ravens and Dolphins. Should be an interesting matchup here tonight. Well, at the beginning of the season, it looked like it was going to be a really interesting matchup. But now, you've got two teams who aren't living up to expectations, but both are coming off pretty convincing wins. And the Ravens, the big headline for them is that they're getting Lamar Jackson back after missing 3 games. And they looked pretty bad in those 3 games, except for last week, which I predicted in my picks video that the Ravens would beat the Bears. I am not sold on the Bears at all right now. And Tyler Huntley runs the offense decently. So they were able to come out with the victory last week, get their season back on track. And what's even better for them is that the Steelers and the Bengals haven't been finding ways to win. So the Ravens, if they win this game and the Steelers lose this week, they're only 1 game out of first. So they are far from, their season is far from over. It looked pretty done at 1-5, but they're getting Lamar Jackson back. If their defense can just play a little bit of play some football and not just let everyone score on them all the time, they could be the team that really wins the AFC North here. But the Dolphins, they're coming off their own upset victory over the Atlanta Falcons, which I was greatly appreciative of. Keeps the Panthers number 2 in the division. But the Falcons, they lose 34-10 to the Dolphins, who the Dolphins have no identity this year. You really feel like they're a team in transition. The Mike McDaniel experiment just hasn't really worked. Tyreek Hill's probably going to retire after that terrible injury. And you really just feel like next year you're going to see a different version of these Dolphins. So and they're not performing well this year, so there's really no incentive to really keep it going next year. I think they're going to have to make some drastic changes because it's just not working out. Tua will probably stick around for a couple more years, but I don't think it's gonna work. It's not gonna net anything more than maybe like a wild card playoff appearance. But yeah, the Ravens, they've got a lot going for them right now. But watch out, because the Chiefs, for the first time since, probably since the first time this season, are in the playoff picture. They have snuck into the number 7 seed, getting ahead of Jacksonville. Jacksonville was there last week, but Jacksonville keeps continuing to lose, and the Chiefs keep continuing to win. Now, what's going to be interesting down the stretch is that victory that the Jaguars got. The Jaguars do have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Kansas City Chiefs, so that might be significant at the end of the season, but I honestly think that the Chiefs, it's either going to be the Chiefs or Broncos who win that division. The Chargers, while they played well against the Vikings last week, I streamed my live reactions to that game. I just am not really, getting Joe Alt back was big. They were able to get their running game going, which is how Jim Harbaugh likes to play. But I think they're just a little inconsistent, very streaky. Started out the season very well, had a big losing streak, and now they might be getting things back together. But the Chiefs, I think, are just going to be more consistent and more battle-tested down the road. But the Broncos, they had a good showing against the Cowboys this week. Their offense was firing on all cylinders, but it's kind of hard not to. The Dallas Cowboys defense is the worst in the league. So teams, including my Panthers, have been able to put up a bunch of points against them. We're getting pretty close to kickoff here. A reminder, this is the Dusty Tron channel. You're listening to my live reactions to Ravens at Dolphins here on Thursday Night Football on YouTube Live. If you like the video, give it a like. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to be notified of all our great content. On Mondays, I missed it this week, but it's not like I was really going to react to much. The Bills completely destroyed the Panthers. But on Mondays, I post reactions to the previous week's Panthers game. On Tuesdays, I post my weekly picks. On Wednesday, my power rankings, and on Thursdays, we stream Thursday Night Football. So great content all throughout the week. So you should subscribe. Got my foot caught on my microphone cable there for a little bit. But yeah, I posted my power rankings this week. Oh, Sam. Yeah, no, I would love that, Sam. Because I would love to see the Chiefs not make the playoffs this year. My concern, and you saw it in my power rankings, is that as I have them as the #1 team in the league right now, I think they're picking up steam, and I think they're going to start really proving that they are the team to beat. They just got a slow start. But they're getting healthy at the right time. Their defense is playing better. Patrick Mahomes and that offense is clicking a lot more than it has. Definitely last year, and maybe even dating to the season before that. But looks like we're getting ready for kickoff here. Tyler Loop gonna kick it off. And there's the kick. It's going to be fielded by the Dolphins. Oh, it's close to not landing in the landing zone. Oh, and the Dolphins return it to the 40-yard line, so they're going to have good starting field position. That's number 82. Let's see who that is. I always talk about this at the start of my reaction streams. That's D. Eskridge. Oh, he was from the Seahawks. The Seahawks drafted him a while ago, probably like 3 years ago. He never really got a chance, though. But I will recognize the numbers and start associating the names as the night goes on. And I will always be moving the possession football. Dun dun. It is the Dolphins' possession now. They're about at the 43, their own 43-yard line. Tua out of the pistol. He had Ollie Gordon back there. Throws. Oh, it's a completion to Jalen Waddle, and he's at the Ravens' 37-yard line already. So that's a nice completion for about 20 yards. So the Dolphins, good kickoff return and a nice chunk play on their first play of the game. Jalen Waddle stepping up in the absence of Tyreek Hill. Yeah, just finds a hole in the middle of the zone there. Just an easy slant route. Gets himself open, gets a little bit of yards after the catch, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Dolphins at the 37-yard line of Baltimore. Tua out of the pistol again, hands it off. That's Achane, and he's not going to get anything. Stood up right at the line. I believe that's Kyle Van Noy. It is Kyle Van Noy. Yeah, the Ravens defense, it's really got to step up here. This is a huge game and a huge opportunity for Baltimore to turn their season around. They are on the road, but they got to step up to the occasion here. The AFC North, it's faltering, and it's very possible if they just string some wins together, they're right back in the race. So they got to take advantage of a lowly opponent here in Miami and take care of business. All right, we've got Tua under center. Ravens might bring some extra heat here. They bring one extra rusher. It's a swing pass to Achane and a pretty decent tackles. Is that Marcus Peters? I know it used to be Marcus Peters. Could not see the back of his jersey, so we're looking it up. No, Malachi Starks, their new rookie. Okay. So, yeah, not Marcus Peters. I had a thought in my mind that Marcus Peters wasn't in the league anymore. But he was on Baltimore once, at one point. So we've got a 3rd and 6 as we tick under 13 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ravens showing rush. Tua in the backfield. He's got Ollie Gordon back there, and it looks like Miami might be calling time because the play clock was getting low. Calling a timeout within the first 3 minutes of the game. That's rough. And for those of you just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. You're listening to my live reactions to Ravens versus Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel to get more great content and click that notification bell to be notified of when it drops. We post great content all throughout the week. You don't want to miss any of it. And we've got a 3rd and 6 upcoming here. 12 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first quarter. Tua out of the shotgun. He's got Ollie Gordon in the backfield as well as Achane. It's a handoff to Achane, who is in motion. And he's only going to get about 2. So the Ravens defense steps up here, but you kind of wonder, are the Dolphins thinking 4 downs? Because that was just a simple run out of the shotgun. Especially when it's like a 4th down play, I hate runs out of the shotgun. You're automatically, so it does look like they are going for the field goal. But yeah, when you run out of the shotgun on short yardage situation, you're already putting yourself further behind than you need to. This is 4th and 4. They're going to attempt a 49-yarder. Looks good. It is good. And so the Dolphins draw first blood tonight. They are up 3-0 over Baltimore here at home. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel. But yeah, standings-wise, Steelers first, only 2 games ahead of Baltimore. And the Bengals, they had an opportunity to really, they could have, yeah, actually, if the Steelers, what did the Steelers do last week? They lost to the Packers. If the Bengals had won, they'd be 4-4 and only a half game behind Pittsburgh. So there's a big, I mean, even the Browns aren't really out of it, but they're just kind of out of it because the nature of being the Browns. But yeah, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, all really in that AFC North race, but nobody really wanting to take the crown and run away with it. It looked like it was the Steelers' division to win until Cincinnati beat them. And then the Steelers couldn't quite beat Jordan Love and the Packers. And yeah, they've lost 2 games in a row now, and their division title is very much in jeopardy. Everyone thought that they were just going to do typical Steelers, get a 10-7. It's good enough because the Ravens had so many it had a bad start and too many injuries. The Bengals lost Joe Burrow, so they aren't able to recover from that. Yep, we're the Cleveland Browns. Oh, poor Brownies. They had that playoff game back in 2023, but I don't really know what they're doing right now with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, I understand what they're doing. It's more like Kevin Stefanski doesn't want the pressure of putting Shedeur into the starting lineup and having to deal with Deion's interference with that. It's got to be something like that. There's also, I heard an interesting take that he might not want to put him in because his job's on the hot seat, and the Browns might try to lure Deion in to coach them because Shedeur's there. So that would be a really interesting thing if that's what's going on behind the scenes. I think the Browns trying to get Deion Sanders as a coach would be a terrible idea. Plus, he probably wouldn't want to do it. And if the Browns really wanted Shedeur that much in order to lure Deion there, they would have drafted him higher. So here's the kickoff. It's going to be fielded by the Ravens. They've got it to the 20, the 25, the 30, about the 33-yard line. Oh, that's Rashid Ali, I think. He was a guy who was on my fantasy taxi squad for a while. He probably never came off it. Rashid Ali, yep. And the possession football now needs to move. Dun dun. We've got 12 minutes and 1 second left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for Baltimore. Lamar Jackson joining the huddle for the first time in 3 games. Ravens undefeated since the bye week, 1-0. Here's the snap, Lamar under center. There's Derrick Henry, and he's going to get stuffed at the line. Miami's defense, probably the second worst defense in the league, especially in the running game. Only defense that's worse is Dallas. So you really want to see Baltimore come out here and show that they have the offensive firepower in order to carve up a poor defense. We'll see what they do here, but the Falcons weren't able to do it last week. Can the Ravens? Lamar is out of the shotgun. Dolphins potentially bringing pressure off the right side. Derrick Henry off to the right. He might chop block the rusher. And there's Lamar. Throws a quick slant. There's Zay Flowers, who he's been very quiet all year. He's usually been a pretty good fantasy producer for me in PPR leagues, but the PPR hasn't quite been there. So we've got a third down coming up here. That was a fairly conservative second down throw to get it to be a much more manageable third down, a 3rd and 3 to be exact. They are at their own 40-yard line. Can the Ravens keep this first drive going? It's Jackson out of the shotgun. Looks like it's going to be a 4-man rush. It is. The Dolphins bring 4. Jackson throws it. It's too short. He had Rashad Bateman, but it's a little too short for him, and Bateman can't pull it in. So that's going to be a 3-and-out for Baltimore, and not really what you want to see. Now, Lamar Jackson might have to take a couple of drives to get himself back into it. He's been out for 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, and I do a decent amount of running, and you don't realize how much you use your hamstring until it doesn't work. I've injured it once in my running career, and I couldn't walk for like a week. It was bad. All right, so we've got the Ravens punting. There's the punt. It's off and away. Bouncing. It's going to stop. Little slip there, but it looks like it's going to be down at the 3-yard line. So a great punt by the Ravens, and the Dolphins are going to be pinned back up against their own end zone as they come out for their second possession with 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first quarter. We've got 1st and 10 Miami. They had a decent drive down the field. Granted, a lot of that was aided by field position, and I got to move that possession football. Dun dun. I do think it's hilarious. Zach Wilson's on the Dolphins now, and he's number 0. I think it would just be funny to see quarterback number 0 playing in the game. We're not going to see it today, but he's got Quinn Ewers ahead of him. So it's Tua out of the pistol, hands it off. I believe that's Achane. No, that's Gordon, Ollie Gordon. It's going to get a couple on the run as we tick under 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, we've got a 2nd and 7, under 10 to play in the first. Tua fakes the handoff, throws, it's complete. That's to number 84. Oh, he lost the ball! He lost the ball, and the Ravens are running with it. We'll have to see if the refs blew that dead, but I think that was a fumble. The refs indicate it's to Baltimore. Dolphins had the first down. It was number 84. Who's that? Taj Washington. He moved in motion behind the line of scrimmage. Let's see. I think it was out. Yeah, that ball's definitely out. That's a fumble. The ball's out. The refs did not blow it dead. Does not look like the Ravens player got touched when he first recovered it and was able to run it back like 20 yards. So yeah, he got in motion. He's got to get down quicker than this. It got stood up a little bit there. The Ravens, opportunistic, ripped the ball away. That elbow is not down. The Ravens start running with that before Greg Dulcich can touch him down. And so now the Ravens They basically get a big completion there. I'm going to move the possession football because I'm pretty darn sure this will stand. Indeed it does. And this is 1st and goal for Baltimore on the 7-yard line of the Dolphins. And there's Derrick Henry, very close to the end zone line. Are they going to give it to him? No, they rule him down at the 1. And the Ravens hurrying it up quick, keeping that Dolphins defense on there. And it's another handoff to Derrick Henry, and he doesn't have it. Got stood up at the line, and you do have... I am starting to see Derrick Henry slow down. He's gotten stood up a lot of times this year, and he just never really got stood up this much in the past. So can the Ravens get it in? I mean, with an opportunity this early, I think this is 4-down territory for Baltimore, saying, hey, this is our opportunity to turn the season around. We're going to take the lead here. It's 3rd down. We'll see what they do. I'm predicting a bootleg. Yep, it's a play action. Lamar's rolling out. He's throwing to the back of the end zone. Not there. Incomplete for Isaiah, likely. They did not roll him out. He kind of stayed in the pocket and threw off his back foot there. Not the best play call. I think they were trying to get the Dolphins to bite on the play fake. So 4th and goal, 8 minutes and 30 seconds to play. Looks like the offense is staying out like I predicted they would. The Ravens need to make a statement here. Now, this is huge for Miami if they can hold Baltimore here. But yeah, Ravens gotta make this count. Zay Flowers in motion. Fakes the handoff to Derrick Henry, throws, and he gets Mark Andrews for the touchdown! Baltimore takes the lead. Six to 3. Ravens over Dolphins. Yeah, they didn't go with Derrick Henry here. They go with Lamar throwing it, and it's a good pass there. Andrews gets some separation behind the first line of the zone, and Lamar Jackson able to fit it in there. So a gutsy call by the Ravens on their second drive pays off as Tyler Loop is out here to kick the extra point. There's the kick, and it's good, and we've got a 7-3 game. So after that touchdown drive, it's 7-3. Ravens over Dolphins. Lamar Jackson finding Mark Andrews in the end zone. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. It's the day before Halloween, getting kind of spooky. Yeah, on my hype video for this, I used the Halloween font because it was the day before Halloween. It's the day before Halloween today. Only one live viewer right now. We got to get that up. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. I post great content all the time. If you like what you're seeing, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel to be notified of all of our great content. We post videos all throughout the week on Mondays. Oh, Bill's in! Hey, Bill, how's it going? 7-3 Ravens over the Dolphins. The Ravens made a gutsy call on 4th down at the Dolphins' 1-yard line. They had been stuffed the prior 2 plays, but were able to get it on 4th down and take a 7-3 lead. Yeah, things are going pretty good. Can't complain. Lost power this morning, but that was kind of annoying to wake up to, but it got restored in about like 2 hours or so it wasn't that bad. I was like, gotta have my power for tonight, gotta stream. But yeah, the thumbnail features Cartoon Dusty again. I figured I'd go with the cartoon look. The photorealistic stuff just makes me look weird with the image generation. So cartoon it is. I think it turned out okay this week. All right, we got the kickoff for Baltimore. It's going to be returned by Miami, who turned the ball over on their last possession, which led to the Ravens' touchdown. And that's going to be D. Eskridge, who's taken down at about the 22-yard line, I think. I'm going to have to confirm that. And the possession football moves. Dun dun. So, yeah, the Dolphins had it close to their own end zone. And they ran a swing pass. They got the first down, but the Dolphins guy, Taj Washington, did not get down in time, and the Ravens kind of stood him up and ripped the ball away from him. So the Ravens got a drive starting at the Dolphins' 7-yard line and were able to push it in 4 downs. All right, we got Tua. It's a direct snap to Achane, and he turns the corner and is able to get about 15 on the run. So a good first play for the Dolphins, starting this third possession of theirs. Yeah, as I was mentioning at the top of the stream, on paper before the season, this looked like it was going to be a really good matchup. I don't think anyone would have predicted these teams to be a combined 4-11 coming into this game. The Ravens, they have a real opportunity to turn their season around. They played like they meant it by going for that 4th down conversion. We've got Tua under center. The Dolphins are at their own 45-yard line. And it's another toss to Achane. Baltimore's D, they had the turnover last possession, but they got to stand up a little bit. It's about a 6-yard run on the play there. They get it to the 49-yard line of Baltimore. As we wind under the halfway point of the first quarter, 7:20 to play left. 2nd and 4 upcoming. All right, we got Tua under center with 3 backs behind him, but one was a lineman. The lineman motions up to the front. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And here's, oh my gosh, Kyle Hamilton blows up the play. It was a handoff to Achane, and he's right in the backfield for a loss of 3 yards. Yeah, that's the weird thing, though, Bill. They were supposed to be good teams this year, or at least Miami was supposed to be a playoff contender. And I mean, Baltimore I had as my preseason Super Bowl pick. But yeah, they've just got flaws right now, and it's showing up in the loss column. So 3rd and 7, under 6.5 to play. The Ravens bring some pressure. Tua gets rid of it. A guy fell down. I think that's Greg Dulcich. Yep, there he is, and that's a first down. Greg Dulcich came out of UCLA. I only know about him because in fantasy leagues, I thought he was going to make it big with Denver. Never really quite got there and has kind of bounced around the league a bit. I think he was on the Giants before this, and now he's on Miami. And he catches a first down pass there. All right, we got Tua out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line of Baltimore. Throws. Oh, it got tipped. Incomplete by Marlon Humphrey. Was going for Jalen Waddle there. Looks like the pass might have been a little behind behind Waddle. I had the Ravens predicted winning this one. I think that they've just had bad circumstances. They're reminding me a lot of the post Super Bowl Panthers in 2016 when they started 1-5. It was just like they couldn't get the wins for one reason or another, but they had all the talent there. I think Baltimore, if they can put it together, they're gonna do a run after midseason and really compete for the division down the stretch. Oh, here's Achane. He's having a big run right as I say that. And that's about a 20-yard run. He gets it all the way to the 20-yard line of Baltimore. And that's what's really going to hold this Baltimore team back. This defense is bad. Some good offensive line blocking there, though. Yeah, I want to say that's about a 25-yard run by Achane, who's having a pretty good night so far. So the Baltimore, the last time the Dolphins got on this end of the field, they were able to hold them to a field goal. Will they be able to hold them to 3 here, or will they end up getting a touchdown? Here's a run by Ollie Gordon. That's about a 3-yard gain. A lot of hype coming out from Ollie Gordon out of Ohio State. Hasn't really gotten things going yet, but who's to say he's really had the opportunity? He's behind Achane right now. Dolphins getting ready for second down. 2nd and 7 from the 18-yard line of Baltimore. Tua out of the shotgun. They're showing a lot of interesting motions here. He's got 2 running backs to the right of him. Here's Gordon getting the screen pass and is only going to get about another 3. Stood up by Buchanan. It's going to be 3rd down as we wind under 4 minutes to play in the first. Yeah, Bill, who do you have winning in this one and why? I feel like I gave my opinion. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. You're listening to my live reactions to Ravens versus Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. 7-3 Ravens as we've got 3rd and 4 for the Dolphins here. Throws, it's complete to Waddle, and he's going to be about a yard short. Hits Waddle on the outside comeback route, but not able to get the first. 4th and 1, the Ravens were aggressive on their possession. The Dolphins going to be aggressive on their possession. Tua and the offense is out for the time being. The run game has been going really well for the Dolphins today, so they might just try one up the middle and see if they can get this, or maybe just try to pull the Ravens off sides. It's a long one. It's about 1.5. Tua out of the shotgun, has Achane and Gordon behind him. They snap it, there's a flag. And that's going to be a false start, which is probably going to force them to kick a field goal. Yep, false start, so that's putting Miami back. Oh, Bill, you're choosing the Dolphins. Hey, they had that big win over Atlanta last week. They dominated them. So, I mean, they're trying to turn their season around too, so... And they've got the home field advantage, and it's Thursday night, so it is possible that Miami could pull this one off. They're not winning right now, 7-3 Baltimore, and they just lose a 4th down conversion attempt there. And Baltimore, bend, don't break. They hold the Dolphins to a field goal. Can the Dolphins kick it through? 35-yard attempt. Oh, he missed it! It goes right! It goes right, and the Dolphins miss an opportunity for points. And the possession football moves. Dun dun. So after a great drive, they come up with nothing because of a mistake on 4th down that pushes them back to kick a field goal, and they miss a chip shot. Yeah, okay, like, I hear you there. This Ravens defense is bad. Now, last year, Ravens defense was really bad the first half of the year and then kind of fixed some things the second half of the season. It seems like they're following that same trend. Terrible at the first half of the season. We have to wait and see if they fix it on the second half, the latter half of the season. I mean, kickers, they miss these chip shot field goals now. It's so interesting that we're seeing more and more with the K-balls. We're seeing like more and more 50-yard field goals. We're seeing 60-yard field goals. We're probably going to see a 70-yard field goal sometime soon. But they're missing the easy ones, which is ridiculous. Find it hilarious. And actually, I don't know who the Dolphins kicker is. Oh, sorry. Let's take a look. Jan got me there. Oh, Riley. Yeah, that's Riley Patterson. I think he used to kick for the Jaguars. He was very on and off. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. We post great content all the time. If you like this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to be notified of all our content. I post reactions to the previous week's Panthers game on Monday. I post my game picks on Tuesday. I post my power rankings on Wednesday. And on Thursdays, it's my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. So great content all throughout the week. You don't want to miss it, so subscribe. Yes, we did technically see a 67, and so the 70 actually counted in the game, just it's preseason, so it doesn't actually go into the stat books. The 67-yarder converted but didn't count. So yeah, it's a matter of time. Like some team will get desperate before a halftime boot a super long one. That's where the 67-yarder came in. Now, it's interesting because I feel like in the past, the Ravens are running from the 25-yard line. That's their first play. They hand it off to Derrick Henry. Doesn't look like he got anything as we tick under 2.5 to play in the first quarter. But yeah, I feel like in the 90s, like in early 2000s, the kickers that were setting the field goal records were like the best kickers in the league. Like I remember Jason Elam had the record for a while. And then I forget who got it. Oh, Matt Prater had the record after him. But now I think you might see someone like a Cam Little make one, and it's just some guy who happens to be able to kick it really far. On second down, they get a completion to Zay Flowers, and he's going to get a Ravens first down. So the Ravens in a position where if they get a touchdown, 2-possession advantage, definitely helps out a lot in keeping control of the game, especially on the road. But yeah, the Dolphins have been moving the ball up and down the field, but just haven't been able to execute when it matters the most. And here's a handoff to Derrick Henry. That's a good run on first down, about 7 yards. Got a 2nd and 3 upcoming. All right, we got, so 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 upcoming. We tick under a minute to play. Lamar Jackson out of the pistol. 2 wide receivers out. And Lamar Jackson is running it himself, keeping it himself. And the Dolphins do a good job snuffing that out for no gain. Well, right now it seems like people are valuing distance because the accuracy on the short kicks definitely isn't there. So yeah, Lamar Jackson, his first keeper of the night, doesn't really get anywhere. And so we'll see what the Ravens do on 3rd and 4. They will have to snap this before the quarter ends. The game clock is greater than the play clock. Lamar out of the shotgun, 4 seconds on the play clock. Is he going to get it off? He does with 1 second left. Jackson moving around. Oh, is able to run around and gets Isaiah Likely. And he's all the way down to about the 23-yard line of the Dolphins. That is a huge gain on 3rd down when Jackson was in the pocket and getting chased. Now, it was interesting to see on that play. I think Lamar Jackson's still, he's very hesitant with that hamstring because he could have taken off with that, really sprinted. He looked slow there. So that's something to keep in mind going forward. He's probably being a little cautious about that hamstring. But yeah, that is the end of the first quarter. 7-3 with the Ravens driving on the Miami Dolphins. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. Yeah, so big play to end out the first quarter. Yeah, they weren't able to get to Lamar. He wasn't really super fast in the pocket because he was just dodging around, and then was eventually able to find Isaiah Likely down the field, who was able to turn it up for like another 15, 20 yards after the catch. So a really big play by the Ravens to end the quarter. But yeah, playoff picture from the NFC side, pretty much the same as last week. Just the seeds have shifted a little bit. Packers remain at the top with that ever so interesting 5-1-1 record. The Eagles are 2, the Bucks are 3, Seahawks 4, Lions 5, Rams 6, 49ers 7. Yeah, the 49ers go all the way from the 2nd seed last week to the 7th. And yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before injuries catch up to them and the competition gets a little more difficult and they fall out of the playoff race. But who will replace them? The top 4 behind them are the Bears, the Panthers, the Cowboys, and the Falcons. The Commanders could do a run at the end of the season, but Jaden Daniels having issues. I don't really know. The Commanders, they look like they're destined to probably flop out of the playoffs this year, in my opinion. Yep, Packers, they look like they're doing well, and I think they'll probably get a pretty easy win against Carolina this week. Panthers just got absolutely smoked by a real team, the Buffalo Bills, this last week, 40-9 at home. They were previously unbeaten at home. But yeah, the Bills came into town and kind of just showed them, yeah, you suck. So, yeah, also Andy Dalton played an absolutely atrocious game in that game. I had to play him in a super flex spot in one of my fantasy leagues because Lamar Jackson was out, and he got me 1/10 of a point. So technically it was better than playing Lamar Jackson, who was injured, but just barely. 1/10 of a point. All right, from the 23-yard line on first down, Lamar hands it off to Derrick Henry. Looks to be about a 3-yard gain. First play of the second quarter, Ravens in the red zone. Maybe I need to come up with a red zone graphic, like the Dustytron red zone. I know. I expect them to lose, so it's like if the Packers win, there'll be no hard feelings there. The Packers are the better team. I'm just not even going to try to deny that. All right, Jackson. Back to throw. He's got some pressure in his face. Throws. Oh, it's Mark Andrews again! Touchdown! Touchdown, Baltimore! Mark Andrews caught the 4th down pass, and now Mark Andrews gets this touchdown as well. 2 touchdown receptions for Mark Andrews on the night, and the Ravens capitalized when the Dolphins couldn't. Yeah, nice route, splitting defenders by Mark Andrews, gets to the left corner, able to get in front of the safety, and is able to take it in. That was a nice drive by Baltimore to capitalize on the missed field goal. And now Tyler Loop looking to add the extra 1. Loop's kick is up, and it's good. So Baltimore, they had a 3-and-out for their first drive, but they've put things together on their last 2. They lead by 11, 14-3 over the Miami Dolphins. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. But yeah, I think in the AFC, the 2 surprises, like I guess I wasn't buying the Patriots offseason hype, and I mean there's still plenty of time for them to botch the second half of the season. But Drake May is looking good right now, and Mike Vrabel, the teams behind him, they're looking like a formidable foe in the AFC right now. They're sitting at the 2nd seed, but those surprise Colts there, Number one in the AFC, just Jonathan Taylor going crazy this year. Oh, and the Colts. The Colts 7-1. And not showing any signs of slowing down. So the kick is a touchback. That'll come out to the 35-yard line. Yeah, so it's like, how do they go from destroying Atlanta last week to looking like this? I don't get it. All right, the possession football needs to move. Dun dun. 14-3 Ravens over the Dolphins. Ravens offense looking just a little bit better with Lamar Jackson in the lineup. When they signed Cooper Rush in the offseason, I was like, why didn't you just sign Tyler Huntley? He works in your offense way better. Cooper Rush is a statue. That's not how the Ravens offense operates. Ravens showing some extra pressure. Tua under center. They bring it. And they've got one. They ran a wide receiver reverse. It was looking bad, like 5 yards in the backfield, but he's able to turn it back upfield and get about 8. He had to run a lot for that, but that looks to be an 8-yard gain for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins that's Malik Washington who is able to do that. So they've got Taj Washington and Malik Washington. Yeah, he was able to turn that back upfield. Otherwise, that would have been a terrible loss for Miami. 2nd and 3 as we tick under 13.5 to play in the second quarter. Tua under center. It's a toss to Achane on the right side. He's going to get the first, and he's right at about the 50-yard line. They'll probably mark him down at the Dolphins' 49, and that is a first down for Miami. But Miami, they haven't really had any issue moving the ball down the field. They've got the fumble and the missed field goal, though, and that's kind of the difference in this one. Just noticed, I think Cole Strange is on this offense. Yep, Cole Strange, that first-round draft pick from the Patriots a few years back. And this is Tua who delivers to Dulcich. And that's going to be a 9-yard completion. Yes, yeah. I like chatting with people, especially about football. I consider myself an extroverted introvert. So I recharge by like spending time by myself, but I also enjoy engaging with other people, especially when it's stuff I really like. So like chatting football is, Tua is going long. He's got Waddle wide open. Kind of hung it up there for a while. Waddle got smacked, but he completes it. There is a flag. We'll have to see what's up here, but Tua launched it long. We'll see what we've got. But if the play stands, Waddle caught that at the Ravens' 7-yard line. We'll see what the ref says. Is that a trip on Ollie Gordon? That'd be terrible if that was a trip. Takes away like a 40-yard play. Yeah, they're calling it on the offense, so this is coming back. A huge play to Waddle. Yeah, so Gordon does get flagged for tripping here. Yeah, he trips up Mike Green coming off the edge, which wasn't necessary because there was an offensive lineman. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong, especially when there's not a lot of people in the live viewers. I love having a chat to engage with, because otherwise there's kind of just dead space, and I gotta fill it with something. So I actually really prefer there being something in the chat to talk about. Yeah, Ollie Gordon getting chewed out about that one. Takes a huge play off the board, and it's 2nd and 16 from their own 42-yard line. Tua throws long. Oh, he's got a man. Did he keep his feet in? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Incomplete. Connor not able to keep his feet in. Tanner Connor. All right, so yeah, just doesn't look like he quite gets his feet in. That's a tough pass to make there. Yeah, no, he doesn't get that right foot down. It's way out of bounds. Easy call, incomplete. So 3rd and 16. So what could have been 1st and goal from the Ravens 7 is now 3rd and 16, and the Ravens bring heat. It's a screen pass, though, that might defeat the pressure. Oh, but a good tackle by Roquan Smith prevents Achane from getting going. I think he got about 6 yards there, but the Dolphins are going to have to punt. It was an excellent tackle because Achane had some room to work with. Yeah, and Smith had to fight through a block in order to do that too, so just a great play by one of the better linebackers in the league. 4th and 11, 14-3, Ravens over the Dolphins. Bailey to punt. Here's the punt. And it's fielded at about the 7-yard line, and Ravens get it to about the 23. That's number 83 on the return. And that is LaJohntay Wester, not Webster. All right, it is. Oh, possession football needs to move. Dun dun. 14-3, Ravens over the Dolphins. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. Thursday Night Football. So I was getting a lot of people on my power rankings not liking me putting the Chiefs at number 1. What are your thoughts on that, Bill? I think after what we've seen... Well, I mean, hopefully for a more entertaining game, the Dolphins come back here. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. We post great content all the time. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football, Ravens at Dolphins. But if you like the video, that helps the channel out a bunch, and you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to be notified of all our videos. You'll see all of our videos that we post throughout the week. On Mondays, I post my reaction to the previous Panthers game, since I am a Panthers fan. The Tuesday, I post my game picks for the week. Wednesday, I post my power rankings. And Thursdays, it's live reaction for Thursday Night Football night. Bill, where would you put them? I don't know. I think they're just showing me getting healthy, the offense looking better, the defense looking better. I think they're the team to beat right now. Yeah, I had a comment in there where it's like, oh, put the Colts number 1. I don't put the just team with the best record in the league at number 1, because to me, the Colts, they had one test that was like, this is a really good team in the Rams, and they lost. So that's not to say the Colts aren't a good team and probably a playoff team, but I need to see more from them before I'm like, yeah, they are the team to beat in the NFL right now. Yeah, I hear you on the Lions or the Eagles. The Bills, after that lose-2 streak, they need to show me a little bit more. The Colts, I think they've got a lot of pieces in place. I need to just see wins against more quality opponents, because if you look at their schedule here, Colts 2025 schedule. Okay, that's just showing me. All right. Yeah, they've beaten the Titans, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Raiders, lost to the Rams. Okay, they beat the Broncos. The Broncos is like their big win. All right, we've got Lamar first down, and he's going to get sacked. Couldn't find anything downfield, got chased by Nick Chubbs, and Jones is the one who brings him down. It's a big loss, probably a loss of about 10 on the play. Lamar was scrambling around, trying to, yeah, that's Nick Chubb just bull rushing Richard over. Yeah, their fullback. Fullback's not actually a position in the NFL anymore, so he's technically a tight end, I believe. Oh, no, he is listed as a fullback on their roster. Okay, I stand corrected. Yeah, that's exactly a 10-yard loss. 2nd and 20 as we wind under 10 to play. Here's a handoff to Derrick Henry, and he's going to get a good chunk of that back. It's like a 15-yard gain there. And so that'll set up 3rd and manageable. So, Bill, what do you have as your top 10 teams right now, then? All right, we've got some more live viewers. We've got 5 right now. Let's keep it going. 3rd and 6, under about 9 to play in the 2nd quarter. Lamar Jackson back, throws longer. It's going to be too long, but did Bateman get held? He wants the flag, but it looks like he's not going to get it. The ball was overthrown, but maybe Bateman was, oh, flag comes late. Maybe he was able to argue his case. 9:05 left to play in the 2nd. Oh, it's taunting on the Ravens. So this is not going to help them get that first down. It's going to push them 15 yards back as they'll have to punt this ball away. Yeah, that's possible that he was held there coming out of his route. But yeah, they flag Bateman for taunting. Maybe because he's yelling at the ref? Well, the Ravens, they do indeed have to punt there, so the Dolphins defense finally does something. There's the punt. It's a good one, all the way, feel it all the way back at the 27-yard line. There's a flag down, so it's probably a block on the returning team. It's a decent return. He's still going, gets it all the way to the 38-yard line of Baltimore, but I have a feeling this one's coming back. Either way, the possession will go to the Dolphins. Dun dun. 14-3. Oh, it might be on the it's on the Ravens, so that's going to add even more onto it. So the Dolphins are going to start at like the Ravens 35-yard line here. 1st and 10 with 8:49 to play in the game, or not the game, the first half. Looking at some of the stats so far, Lamar Jackson 5 of 8. 74 yards, 62.5 completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack taken, 132.3 quarterback rating. Derrick Henry has yet to really get off the ground. 7 rushes for 29 yards, 4.1 a carry, but yeah, one of those was a 14-yard run, which is really spiking that average. So we've got Tua out of the shotgun. It's at the 29-yard line, just dirts this one. Whatever play they were trying to draw up there, it did not materialize. Got 2nd and 10 coming up. So 2 Mark Andrews touchdown receptions has the Ravens up 14-3 over Miami. Miami definitely winning the yardage battle. It's like not even close. But they only have 3 points to show for it. Tua out of the shotgun. Back to throw. Throws. Oh, way behind Waddle. He's throwing it behind his receivers tonight. Waddle had separation, but Tua looked off balance with that throw. Wonder if something got broken on that play. Yeah, the ball way behind Jalen Waddle. And we've got a 3rd and 10. I swear, if the Dolphins are gifted this great field position just outside of the red zone and they can't get anything besides a field goal attempt out of this, this is just, they're not being opportunistic today. And so it's an extra, oh, they're just throwing a, like, swing pass there to get, like, 3 yards. And are they going to keep the offense out on the field? It's a 4th down there. Nope, they're trotting out Patterson again. Patterson missed a 35-yarder, but he made a 45-yarder earlier, I believe. This one is going to be... We'll see in a second how far it is. Oh, yeah, he made a 49-yarder, missed the 35. This is a 43. Kind of right in between the two. And this one's good. So the Dolphins make it a 1-score game, 14-6. We've got 7:57 left to play in the second quarter. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, Bill, I see you put your power rankings in the chat here. Let's see what you got. Okay, I think I can get behind that. I personally don't think the Colts are 2, but I think that that is reasonable. Yeah, it goes against, like, every fiber in my being to, like, have the Pats higher than 10. But I think that's just because of the prior seasons, just, like, how uninspiring they've been. And now it's like, okay, yeah, they are probably a top 10 team in the league. Just got to live with that now. It's, like, both the Broncos and the Patriots, they're resurging. They're my 2 least favorite teams, and they're both top 10 teams, which is just sad. Chargers, I think, could drop out of that 10 spot, but yeah, where did I have the Chargers? I had them at 13. Yeah, I think the Seahawks actually need to be in the top 10 there. Also, you don't have the Rams in the top 10. I think the Rams need to be there for sure. I would say the Seahawks and Rams are both better than the Chargers. But I think the mix of all the other teams is about right. Looking ahead to next week. We're almost at the halfway point of the second quarter. At halftime, we will be treated to the Dusty Tryon Halftime Report, where I will talk about the previous week's games and my impressions about them. And then throughout the rest of the broadcast, I will talk about the future games and what I think will happen with them. I've made my picks, and I'll stand by them. Although I was a commenter pointed out that I did forget to put the Saints and Rams game in there. The Saints and Rams, like, I'm obviously picking the Rams there, but yeah, when I was editing the video, I somehow just missed putting it in there. I don't know how I did that. All right, so Patterson getting ready to kick off with 7 minutes and 57 seconds left to play in the second quarter. And there's the return. And that's gonna, oh shoot, who is that? That's that guy who was doing really well and then he tore his ACL. Keaton Mitchell. Yep. So he's back from that injury. He's returning punts, but I don't think he's getting very many carries right now, especially with Derrick Henry there. Oh, possession football needs to move. Dun dun. Yeah, I actually have a little magnetic board because it is easy to forget teams when doing power rankings. So I actually keep the running list going and I just keep shifting the magnets and magnet helmets, and it helps me really keep the numbers straight as much as I can. Jackson throws. Oh, there's Mitchell. Okay, so he was in for this play. He gets about a 6-7 yard. Oh gosh, I did it. 6-7. A 6 to 7 yard gain. I didn't even mean to do that, but yep, 6-7. We'll see. It ends up being a 7 yard gain. Lamar Jackson under center on a 2nd and 3 from his own 35 yard line. Hands it off to Derrick Henry, and he's going to get about 2. So it's going to be a 3rd and 1 upcoming as we wind under 7 minutes to play in the first half. We'll see what the Ravens come up with on 3rd down here. Lamar Jackson under center, under 6.5 to play. It's a handoff to Derrick Henry. He's going on the right side and just not going to get there. He does not get there. So Henry, this might be the year where he just starts to kind of fall off. Running backs in their 30s, it tends to happen. He just has not been nearly as explosive this year. And yeah, Derrick Henry doesn't get anything on that play. Oh, is that Rasul Douglas who made the tackle? Let's see. It is Rasul Douglas, former Panther and former Packer. All right, kicks it off. Also, he was on the Bills too. He's bounced around a lot. Oh, did he touch that? No, it doesn't look like it. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback, so this ball will come out to the 20-yard line. Possession football needs to move. Dun dun. So yeah, Baltimore with a pretty lackluster drive there. Can Miami get something going before the end of the first half? The Ravens do receive to start the next half, so this would be big if the Dolphins could get the game tied or at least back within. Well, okay. I was going to say back within 1 possession. It's an 8-point game right now, so it is 1 possession. Gotta get the week 8 schedule out here so that I can review that during halftime. Yeah, I had seen some commentary about like how week 8 was just not a very good week. And yeah, really the only game that was, there were really only 2 games that were actually competitive. The Jets and Bengals, which was an entertaining one. And then the Packers Steelers, which was entertaining until about the 3rd quarter. And then the Packers just kind of pulled away with that one. But yeah, all the rest of the games, none of them were very close. Yeah, and I would say that was, I know the Giants beat the Eagles by 17 on Thursday night, But the Chargers beat the Vikings by 27, and it just never felt close at all. At least there was a little back and forth in the Giants-Eagles game, until the Giants took full control of that one with Cam Scatterbo. But yeah, the Chargers-Vikings game last week was not great. All right, so the Dolphins, they're going to have it from their own 20-yard line. Yep, own 20-yard line. They've got Wilson Jr. in motion. I think that's Cedric Wilson, who was formerly on the Cowboys. Okay, I know how to say that. Tua Tagovailoa hands it off to, I believe that's Achane. Yep, Achane, no gain. We're under 5.5 to play in the first half. Can the Dolphins get something going? Yeah, I know. It's like these last couple possessions, the defense has stepped up, but the offense has been not. So it's kind of like the script flipped a little bit. And it does look like there's an injured Raven, Kyle Hamilton. He's a big part of their defense. They need him in there. He's such a big, intimidating safety. But yeah, might be having a hamstring issue. Maybe something wrong with his shin. Yeah, it looks like he might have just whacked it on one of the Dolphins players. (14-6) Ravens over the Dolphins. And Kyle Hamilton walks to the sideline. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins, and I think that was a false start on Miami. So it's going to come back 5 yards. It is indeed a false start. Baltimore up 14-6 over the Dolphins. Kyle Hamilton's back in, so it looks like he just got shaken up for one play. And the Ravens are glad to have him back. 2nd and 15 with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the second quarter. 14-6 Ravens. Tua has 4 wide receivers, 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Throws to Washington. And he's got, is that a horse collar? He jerked back weird on that tackle. Let's see. That was Malik Washington. Oh, that's legal. Yeah, he just kind of wrapped around his neck like this, but didn't actually grab the collar. So while it looked weird, that's not illegal. All right, but that play makes it a bit more manageable as we tick under 4.5 to play in the second. 3rd and 7. Third and 7, Tua out of the empty backfield, and we've got another stoppage. Looks like a timeout by Baltimore. And yeah, I would say it's the Titans, Bill. The Titans are definitely the worst team. Yeah, they have no direction. Cam Ward, he's in over his head. It just looks awful. And they have no talent at receiver. No talent at receiver. The defense isn't that great. It's an all-around mess. But yeah, even though the Titans are terrible, for some reason they always can at least beat the Jaguars once a year. So I still feel like even though they're a terrible team, they're going to beat Jacksonville once. So when that matchup comes up, you'll probably see an upset alert on my picks video. All right, we've got the 23-yard line with a 3rd and 7. Tua throws and gets Waddle right in the chest there. Nice pinpoint pass, and it's a 1st down. Yeah, well, and I mean, they've got an interim coach right now. You can't really expect too much from that. Good pass by Tua there out of Waddle's break. Goes for, I want to say, about 15? And so the Dolphins now have it on their own 37. Tua throws, gets Waddle again. Waddle breaking free down at the 38 of the Ravens. So the Dolphins, they were looking a little dead in the water back at the opposite end of the field. But these last 2 plays to Waddle give them some life, and they're going down the field. Yeah, once again, gets Waddle right out of his slant route. Gets him in motion. With room to run. Yeah. We've got Tua out of the pistol. He's got Achane behind him. Ollie Gordon moves behind him in motion. And it's a pitch to Malik Washington, who came behind the line at the last second. And that's about a 3-yard gain, and it looks like Ollie Gordon might be down. Does he get himself back up? Maybe. I don't know. Nope. Gets back down. Oh, sorry. Ollie Gordon is not out of Ohio State. He's out of Oklahoma State. My bad. Looks like he might have gotten rolled up on there a little bit. Yep, that's his ankle. It's not a Cam Scatterboo, but that might be an ankle sprain. Yeah, that's the second injury this year, the Cam Scatterboo one, where the limb is facing a direction it shouldn't. So Tyreek Hill was the first one, yeah, knee facing the wrong way, and then you had Cam Scatterboo's foot facing the wrong way. Just brutal to watch. I actually, when I was more into fantasy football, I subscribed to this YouTube channel where it's a sports doctor talking about injuries and whatnot. So if you want to watch something where it's like this gruesome injury happening over and over again, he just talks about it so matter-of-factly. I mean, he's a doctor, so he probably sees this stuff all the time. I was just like, like really, really bad. But I guess you just get desensitized to it, and then he brings up like the anatomy diagram. It's just like, oh yeah, the bone twisted like this, and it causes the fracture there. I don't really. I watch those to try to get a feel for like when the player might come back, but now it seems like YouTube only recommends me the ones where they're clearly out for the season. So there's really no info you garner from that. But yeah, I think his name was Dr. Brian Suter or something like that. Oh yeah, Scatterboo's definitely out for the year. They've already declared it. Yeah, that foot went from going forward like this to this, and it stayed there. That's the problem. It just stayed there. So yeah, I think they had to do a surgery because it's like he had like a fracture in his fibula from it as well, and it created like a puncture wound. So they had to like heal all that up and get that taken care of. So yeah, unfortunately, Scatterboo, one of the more exciting storylines from this season. But yeah, he's done for the year. Because in the NFL, we can't have fun things. So yeah, Gordon going to the blue medical tent. rookie out of Oklahoma State. I apologize. I said Ohio State earlier. It is Oklahoma State. Yeah, I believe it was Dylan Sampson and Judkins who came out of Ohio State this year. 2nd and 7. It's a handoff to Achane, and Achane gets the first down and more. Pushing to the 20-yard line. It was probably out at the 21. 1st and 10, as we'll probably tick down to the 2-minute warning here. But yeah, 47 rushing yards for him. Yeah, you never want to see a player get injured like that. It just sucks. But yeah, we're at the 2-minute warning. 14-6, Ravens over the Dolphins. Ravens, it felt like they had the opportunity to really take control of this game, but they've allowed the Dolphins to stick around. But can the Dolphins, they've been moving it up and down the field at will, but when they get into the red zone, they haven't been able to punch it in. Will they be able to this time? We'll find out. 2-minute warning with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. And I'm going to step away for about a minute. I will be right back. All right, I am back. All right, from the 21-yard line, first play after the 2-minute warning, Tua under center, 1st and 10. Hands it off to Achane, and he's going to get stood up at the line there. Maybe a gain of 1 if they're being generous. So Miami, they definitely want to control the clock here, and the Ravens, they only have 2 timeouts. So they can only control the clock so much here. So the Dolphins probably pretty content to just let this clock run right now as we're under a minute and a half to play. Tua out of the pistol. He's got 3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Washington moves in motion, but it's a handoff to Achane, and he's gonna get it close to the first down. Looks like he's about 2 yards away, so this will be a 3rd and 2 coming up. And I believe that's probably Baltimore taking a timeout. It is indeed Baltimore taking time. Oh, yeah, I do have a good amount of Panthers jerseys, actually. So it's interesting. I don't have a lot of basically nothing really past the Cam Newton era. But before, like, the 2000s Panthers and stuff like that, I was able to get a lot of the jerseys cheap before Newton made the Panthers popular. So I actually have a lot of, like, the legacy Reebok uniforms. And I've got, like, the big names from the Newton era: Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Jonathan Stewart, Greg Olsen. But yeah, I've got a good amount of jerseys. What about you? Any Packers jerseys? All right, we've got Tua. Oh, looks like a little bit of issues with the handoff there. And the Ravens, they snuff it out. Roquan Smith, no gain. And the Ravens take their final timeout, and the Dolphins staring at the face of yet another field goal in the red zone. Are they going to go for it? If they go for it and convert, they are in control of the rest of the clock. For the quarter. So we'll have to see what Miami comes out here and does. Baltimore does receive, and they're keeping the offense out there. So last time they tried to do this, they were going to go for it, but they committed a false start, which forced them into a field goal that they missed. So we'll see here. Tua is out of the shotgun. He's got 5 wide receivers, 3 to his right, 2 to his left. Can they pick this up? Ravens bring heat. He just throws it up. He's not going to get that. Incomplete. And the Dolphins get no points. Tua just literally threw that up and hoped that his receiver would run under it. And Mike McDaniel, not looking too happy about that. Very annoyed. And the possession football moves. Dun dun. So the Ravens, they do have to try to get at least a first down here. Yeah, I mean, Achan's looking for that ball, and it's not anywhere close to him. So not quite sure what Tua was thinking. Maybe he was going to throw it up and hope that one of his receivers ran underneath it, because it's not like there was a Ravens player near it. But yeah, it kind of looked like Tua was expecting his receiver to be somewhere where they weren't. All right, Jackson out of the shotgun. He's got Justice Hill behind him. Looking for somewhere to throw. Rolls out to his left. Throws and trying to get Mark Andrews, but can't. Incomplete with 56 seconds left in the second quarter. Dolphins with 2 timeouts. Nice. Those are good ones. All Packers greats there. Yeah, I've got a friend of mine. He's got Clay Matthews and Jordan Love, I believe. Yeah, there was the time we was debating between getting one or Jordan Love because he wasn't sure if Love was going to pan out. I'm like, no, you got to go behind Jordan Love. You got to stick with your potential franchise quarterback. Oh, it's a pass underneath to Justice Hill. He's taken down after only 3, so Miami's probably going to take a timeout there. They do. It's stopped at 46 seconds. Yeah, I forget who the other player was that he was thinking he was going to get. I can't remember. But yeah, it's third down for the Ravens and probably about 7. 46 seconds left. They need to get a first down in order to run out the rest of the quarter. Otherwise, they'll have to punt to Miami, and Miami will get another shot. Which might have been what the Dolphins were envisioning with going for this, because if they're able to get it on a short field, Ravens punt it. The Ravens get the ball to start the third. All right, 3rd and 5, 46 seconds left in the second quarter. Ravens trying to run this first half out. Lamar throws, gets Bateman, but he's going to be short. There is a flag. Is the flag going to grant the Ravens a first down? If it does, the Ravens will be able to run out the half. So it's on the Ravens. The penalties declined. 4th down. So, yeah, Baltimore's going to punt here. So we had a points explosion, 2 consecutive touchdown drives by the Ravens, but then nothing since. I think that's 3 drives in a row where they've gotten nothing. And so the Ravens lining up to punt on 4th and 2 with 41 seconds left in the half. Dolphins with 1 timeout. Pretty good punt here. Oh, it takes a Ravens bounce. It's fielded at about the 17-yard line. And yeah, Miami's probably not going to be able to do much with this. Malik Washington is taken down at the 17-yard line. And that possession football moves. Dun dun. 30 seconds to go with 1 timeout. Can they get into field goal range, and are they even going to try? All right, 1st and 10. 30 seconds on the clock. Tua out of the shotgun, hands it off to Achane. Okay, gets the 1st down. They're going to take their time out. So, yeah, they do a draw play, hoping to catch the Ravens in a pass defense formation, hoping to get some free yardage, which they got 10, but they're still pretty far away from field goal range unless they think Riley Patterson can. Maybe this is where we see that 70-yard field goal. Riley Patterson is warming up. But yeah, maybe 2 medium range completions? I don't think they're running it out. They took the timeout. So yeah, 2 medium range completions. You might have a long range kick. Tua throws, completes it to Achane, and he's going to get out of bounds after 2. 19 seconds on the clock. So yeah, they're definitely trying to move it downfield. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. We post great content all throughout the week. If you like this video, like the video. It helps the channel grow. And subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get notified of all our videos. We post great videos throughout the week. Mondays are my reactions to the previous week's Carolina Panthers game. Tuesday, game picks. Wednesday, power rankings. Thursday, live reactions to Thursday Night Football, and Tua throws and completes it. Oh, he's going to get to the 50, but they got to hurry. They have no timeouts. Tua's signaling to spike it. Are they going to kick the field goal from here? They do spike it with 4 seconds on the clock. Are they going to try a super long field goal? Yeah, I think they were just hoping to get a big chunk play on the ground because the Ravens were playing like a more pass-centric defense. So it doesn't look like they're bringing out Patterson right now. They're only at the 50-yard line. The 50-yard line would be like a 65-yard field goal attempt. 4 seconds left. Maybe they're going to... So it's the 49-yard line, their own 49-yard line. Tua throws, yeah, maybe trying the sideline. Oh, yeah. So they tried to do a sideline throw to get a little bit closer. Didn't work. Incomplete for Waddle. You gotta wonder, in that situation, the defense might try to jump that because that's what they're expecting you to do. So they might just try to play that one throw because they know you don't have anything else to do. And yeah, they're not bringing Patterson out. They don't trust him from this range to try to boot one. So Tua, he's got Achane in the back. Yeah, it would probably be about 66 yards from this range. All right, Tua's buying some time, going to try to throw, and he just takes the sack. So that's going to end the quarter. It's halftime now. They did not get anything from that. Got to reposition this halftime graphic. Whoop. That is your halftime score. Ravens 14, Dolphins 6. I think the yards might have evened out a little bit. They've got 89 passing yards, 30 rushing yards. That's only like, what? That's 119 yards. And the Dolphins have more passing yards than that. The Dolphins have like around 230 yards. So the Dolphins definitely outgaining the Ravens, but the Ravens have the lead because the Ravens have been more opportunistic. Whereas the Dolphins, when they've gotten into the red zone, they've had turnover on downs and they had a missed field goal. They had a fumble close to their own end zone, and they were only able to get 2 field goals. So while they're moving the ball up and down the field, they are not taking advantage of their opportunities. But it is indeed halftime, 14-6, Ravens over the Dolphins. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, it is now time for the Dustytron halftime report. Looking back at the previous week's games, we've got Minnesota at the Chargers. Chargers absolutely blow out the Vikings. Carson Wentz on IR for the rest of the year, was playing in pain throughout the night. Could not get the Vikings offense going. They lose by 27, 37-10. The next game was the one that we were talking about at the beginning of this stream. The Miami Dolphins go into Atlanta and absolutely shock the Atlanta Falcons. Because I can understand when Atlanta sometimes plays poorly on the road, but they're usually pretty good at home. They dismantled the Bills, but then they lose to the Dolphins. There's a lot of things in the NFL that are just not making sense this year. That is definitely one of them. The Falcons fall to Miami 34-10. To be fair, it was Kirk Cousins at quarterback instead of Michael Penix, but I don't think Cousins is actually that bad. But to be determined, Bill. I think I've got to determine that when the schedule comes out. But if I were to, I probably would only do a wild card game. I think once it gets into the divisional round, I'd probably stop the streams from there. But yeah, I might stop week 18, or actually, now that I'm talking about this, I think Thursday Night Football stops in week 17. So I might actually stop then, unless if I find some matchups that make sense, that are pretty intriguing matchups, then I might do that. So consider it a Dustytron flex schedule. There is not a determination yet, but it is also not ruled out. But yeah, let me take a look at that really quick. Thursday Night Football schedule. Because yeah, I do think it ends. Come on. NFL.com being slow for some reason right now. Okay, fine. I'll just pull up the week. That would be... So week 17 should have a Thursday game. Oh, week 17 has 3 Thursday night games because Thursday is Christmas. So I might not be doing that one. But maybe I'll do the Monday night matchup instead that week. January. Yeah, so week 18, every game... Oh, well, okay, they say TBD. So, yeah, but it looks like there is not a Thursday night game on week 18. Week 16, yeah, the last Thursday night football game looks like it's Rams at Seahawks. So many NFC West games on Thursday night football this year. Maybe because of the whole rivalries thing? Not sure. But yeah, I don't think. Yeah, and Thanksgiving, yeah, I'm going to be out of town for that, so I will not be streaming on that. So I will probably do. Oh, it's Giants Patriots. Is that really worth streaming? Not sure. All right. Well, there are some decisions that need to be made here, but that's still a couple weeks out. We're week 9 right now. But going back and reviewing the week, the Dolphins pull out the 34-10 upset over the Atlanta Falcons. The Jets and the Bengals. This one ended up being a surprisingly good game. The Bengals looked like they were in control for most of the game, but then the Jets score 15 unanswered points in the fourth quarter and are able to come out with a 1-point victory, 39-38, over the home Cincinnati Bengals, who were just coming off that huge Thursday night win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. But yeah, could not beat the winless Jets. That's such a Bengals thing to do, honestly. Have a huge win and then lose to a winless team. I was actually afraid Carolina was going to do that. Because we had that big win over the Cowboys, and then it's like, oh, winless Jets, and on the road where we hadn't won a game. So, and then we've got the Browns and the Patriots. The Browns actually started that game up 7-3, and I was like, oh, maybe there's an upset brewing here. Nope, didn't happen. Drake May took care of business. It's 32-13, Patriots over the Browns. And then the Giants, they were trying. One of the worst calls I have ever seen the officials make happened in the Giants-Eagles game. Jalen Hurts doing the tush push, no whistle whatsoever, reaches the ball out as an attempt to get the first down, and Kayvon Thibodeau rips it away from him. The whistle happens after Thibodeau has the ball, and they say they ruled Hurts' forward progress down. Bill, I don't know if you saw that play, but I think the general consensus online is that it was one of the worst officiating calls ever. Maybe not quite as bad as the Fail Mary, but I think it was just downright atrocious. Like, he was clear, his forward progress clearly was not stopped. All right, and then the next one. Do I really have to talk about this one? It's the Bills absolutely destroying the Carolina Panthers at home, 40-9. We kept it a little close in the first couple of quarters, but I know the people have been saying, oh, the Panthers run defense, it's better this year. Well, James Cook sure didn't think so, rushing for 216 yards, absolutely carving up the Carolina Panthers en route to a 40-9 victory. Not much of a challenge there for Buffalo. Yeah, I think I do have to say the Fail Mary was worse, because it was like clear that the Packers guy intercepted that ball, and then they ruled like simultaneous possession. That was a terrible call. We've got the next game was my upset pick of the week. Ravens taking down the Chicago Bears, who people are saying, oh, the Bears, they're good. I'm just not quite buying it yet. They're 4-3. They were 4-2 last year, and when they were 4-2 last year, they were coming off 2 games where Caleb Williams looked like he was really putting things together against 2 of the worst defenses in the league, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers. And then I think they only won 1 game for like the rest of the season. So, yeah, call me skeptical with crowning the Bears as actually being good right now. Moving right along, I believe I had this as an upset too. The Houston Texans taking down the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan's working with what he's got here, but the 49ers are so injury riddled right now. And they were kind of trending downward anyway with losing all of that talent in the off season. So I'm surprised that they've put together a 5-3 record as it is. I did not think they would be there. Now I think it's part of the strength of schedule that is allowing them to win here, but they beat the Rams, and that was a Thursday night football against the Rams at home, and they won it. And Mac Jones showed some real grit in that game. And I think the Rams are one of the better teams in the league. So that had me all confused about what to think about San Francisco, but Houston took care of business at home. 26-15 was the final there. Bucks 23-3 over the Saints, but if you look at the stat line, it was Baker Mayfield's second straight game of not playing particularly well. But the rest of the team pulled their weight, the defense pulled their weight, and the Bucks win easily 23-3 over the Saints. Saints inserted Tyler Shuck into the lineup, and they have declared that he is going to be the starter for this week. I'm just not really convinced he's going to get you much more than Spencer Rattler's giving you right now. The New Orleans Saints are definitely in the sweepstakes for another quarterback. I was thinking it was going to be Arch Manning, but Arch Manning probably going to be staying at college for another year. You haven't really been hearing much about him in the headlines. You heard about when he first started the season that things weren't going quite right. And now you're not really hearing anything now, which leads me to believe he's not really playing that great. And so it's kind of going under the radar that it's like, yeah, if he turned things around and was playing spectacularly, then you would definitely be hearing about it. But he's probably just playing average, which is like, it's his first year as a college full-time starter. So I think you can only expect so much out of Arch Manning right now. It's just there's so much pressure that comes with the name Manning that they just expect him to be good right off the bat. So it'll be really interesting, I think, to see what happens next year with him. And if he does declare for the draft, and if so, how is he viewed as a prospect? Are the Bucks good? So when they're 5-1, literally all of their games, I believe, were decided by one possession. So eventually, unless you're the Vikings or Chiefs from the last couple of years, those games are going to start flipping against you, and it'll even out. Okay, so you're saying Manning's good, but has to focus on cleaning up his mistakes. And yeah, if that's related to things like his technique and stuff like that, his mechanics, like that's something that can be coached out, and he can definitely work on and get better with that. But yeah, it was definitely a rough start to the season. Now, to be fair, his first game was against Ohio State, which you're playing against almost like I think if there's any team, it used to be Alabama. But if there was a team that you could put into the league and have them compete with professional players, it's probably Ohio State. They just put so many people into the draft year after year. All right, gameplay has resumed. There's the kickoff. Ali gets it to about the 25-yard line. Possession football moves. Dun dun. But yeah, quick rundown of the rest of the games. Broncos take care of business over the Swiss cheese defense Cowboys, 44-24. Colts continue winning, 38-14 over the Titans. Packers get their win over the Steelers. It's the Jordan Love able to prove that he is the future of the Packers. They don't lose to Aaron Rodgers, 35-25. Henry runs for 2 runs. It's going to be 2nd and 8 upcoming. And then the Chiefs take care of business against the Commanders, 28-7 on Monday Night Football. And so we've got 2nd and 8 for the Ravens upcoming here. They're at their own 33-yard line. Derrick Henry in the backfield with Lamar Jackson, who's in the shotgun. Zay Flowers moves in motion from right to left. Jackson throws, complete to Derrick Henry. He's going to get about 3. So this is going to be a 3rd and 5. Bill, do you follow college football much? And if so, who are the big prospects coming into the 2025 draft? I haven't really heard any quarterback names popping up, but that sometimes does tend to pop up more towards the end of the college football season, especially if there isn't a big name that you're kind of watching throughout. Oh, so they only call it a gain of 2, so it's 3rd and 6. Jackson out of the shotgun has Justice Hill in the backfield with him. Mark Andrews moved in motion. Lamar Jackson steps up, and he's going to get the first. Dives forward, gets to about the 49-yard line. And that is going to keep this Ravens drive going. Yeah, the Dolphins, they bring an extra man on the rush. It doesn't get there, and that's going to make it so Lamar Jackson gets sprung open. If he had passed that to Justice Hill had a ton of green space in front of him, but Lamar Jackson decides to just play it safe. He keeps the ball himself and goes. And they are close to midfield now. We have an injured Dolphin on the field, number 23. Oh, it's Jack Jones. He's in his 5th year out of Arizona State. I think he might have been on the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. Mekhi Lemon, what position does he play? Okay, wide receiver for the Trojans. So you think he'll declare for this draft? I'm not a huge college football follower, but I do try to keep my eye on the prospects. Haven't been doing a great job about it this year, though. All right, we got 13 minutes to play in the third. 1st and 10 from the their own 49-yard line. Jackson out of the shotgun. He had Keaton Mitchell in motion. Throws is complete to Isaiah Likely for the first down. It's about a 10-yard gain for Baltimore. They get it to the 41-yard line of Miami. I believe that's Likely's first catch of the night. He had a ball thrown to him in the end zone, but it wasn't likely that he would catch it. So I think it's his second target, first catch. And here's a screen pass to Zay Flowers. He's going to get about 3. Okay, so yeah, you're thinking probably a 2027 draft? But it's a name I'll keep my eye out for. We've got a 2nd and 7 coming up. Under 12 minutes to play in the third. Oh, extra rushers brought by the Dolphins, and Justice Hill gets a little screen pass and is going to get it all the way to about, I want to say, the 28-yard line of Miami. That is a first down for Baltimore. So Baltimore taking this opening possession and going right down the field with it. Oh, is that shoot, is he Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith? All right, Jackson under center throws, completes it to Likely. He's got some room to work with. He's in the red zone. He's down at about the 14-yard line of Miami. We're under 11 to play in the third. Lamar Jackson under center, able to get it behind the linebacker there, Isaiah Likely, down at the 14-yard line. Yeah, I saw his that name popped up on a YouTube short for me, and I saw that I believe it was Ohio State was the helmet in there. I was like, wait, is that might be? They were like saying it's like, oh, is he the best like wide receiver prospect ever? Which is probably like a clickbaity, or sorry, like best freshman wide receiver ever or something like that, which is probably a clickbaity title, but it stuck out to me. It's like, okay, yeah, pay attention to this name. That's about a gain of 4, I want to say, on first down. I believe it was Keaton Mitchell who got the carry there. Yep, 4 yards, 2nd and 6. We're under 10 to play. 9:45 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 6 for the Ravens in the red zone at the Dolphins' 10-yard line. Jackson back to throw. Throws, completes it. That's Zay Flowers. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down. So big play for the Dolphins here. Can they keep the Ravens out of the end zone and hold them to 3? Or better yet, hold them to a 4th down and cause a turnover on downs? Oh, they tush push it with Mark Andrews, and it looks like he has enough. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is no Jalen Hurts, so they use their tight end to do a tush push. You've got Mark Andrews, and then you've got Derrick Henry pushing behind him. So, yeah, you're definitely going to get a little push from that. First and goal for Baltimore as we're under 8.5 to play in the third quarter. Jackson moves Richard in motion, fakes the handoff, throws. He's got Mark Andrew. No, it's not Mark Andrew. That's Kolar. 88, not 89. Charlie Kolar, 5th year out of Ohio State. And the Ravens get another touchdown. Lamar Jackson only throwing touchdowns to his tight ends today. I think Lamar missed the memo, and maybe he would have done this if he was playing last week, but last weekend was tight ends day, not this week. And so the Ravens tack on another touchdown. The Dolphins will need to respond or this game's going to get out of hand. Tyler Loop gets the extra point, and so it's a 15-point lead for Baltimore. 21-6, Ravens over the Dolphins. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. So, refreshing the stats here. Ravens had a nice drive downfield, so that might actually help their yardage numbers. Lamar Jackson with 136 passing yards, only 51 rushing yards. They're not over 190 yards on the day. You go over to the Dolphins, 152 yards for Tua passing, and then 83 yards on the ground. So, yeah, they're at like 230. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like that way, but we've seen a lot of crazy fourth quarters this year, so don't count Baltimore out. I remember it's actually the second game I streamed this year was Seahawks Cardinals. Seahawks had a 20-6 lead with like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Cardinals come back and tie it, but then let the Seahawks get a field goal to win the game on the final drive. But they came back. So it's only 2 possessions. It's a 15-point lead. That's a touchdown and then a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. So far from over. Just the Dolphins defense needs to be able to do something. But yeah, it was interesting on my viewership numbers. I don't think for last week I didn't get a lot of people tuning in, but then for some reason I got a bunch of views after the fact. Just barely got over 100 total, so still not great. But then I swear it was like 50 views or something like that came after the stream posted. So some people were going and watching it after the fact. It was like, for something like this, I would think you would want to listen to it live, but maybe that's just me. All right, here's Tyler Loop on the kickoff. It's trailing to the right. It's fielded by the Dolphins at about the 10-yard line. That's Eskridge, who's able to get it to the 29. There's a flag down. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. You're listening to my live reactions to Ravens versus Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. It is 21-6, and the possession football, it's going to move over from the Ravens to the Dolphins. Dun dun. So there was a penalty on the Dolphins on the run back, so they're going to be pushed back a bit. 21-6 Ravens over the Dolphins. Dolphins got to get something going on this possession. Otherwise, the Ravens might really be able to take control of this game. But while the Ravens, they have pretty strong control over this game. Oh, the Grossi raid concurrent. So, hang on, yeah. Which one was that? That was the one where... So I ended up getting... Oh, Tua gets sacked for a loss of 6 on first down. So that was 647 total views. But what was huge was 190 likes, and I got a bunch of subscriptions from it. So that was the bigger thing. I think concurrent viewers, I had something in like the 30s or something like that. But yeah, no, that was a fun experience. I had actually been rated the prior year too, but I was less set up with what I was doing with the channel. So I was kind of like, this is my channel. It was literally my first time ever streaming, and I kind of just did it for the fun of it. It was actually a really good game. It was the Broncos-Browns game last year, and so that was actually a joint stream with Brandon Perna, so I got Perna people and Grossi people rating at the same time. So it was definitely kind of interesting. It was a fun time, but I didn't know what I was doing back then. At least at this time, I was like, oh, hey, yeah, the Dustytron channel, subscribe here. We've got these socials, and this is what I do. So I was glad to get a second chance at it because I was able to handle it a lot better. All right, we've got a 3rd and 17 for the Dolphins. From their own 6, it's an incomplete swing pass to Acham, but it was probably better. He had Roquan Smith bearing down on him, and that is not the drive you wanted to have after all the momentum has swung over to Baltimore. Fourth and 17 with 6 minutes and 34 seconds left to play. Bailey punting this away. And it looks like something stopped the play before it started. Let's take a look at what the refs are saying here. Still haven't seen what stopped the play, but it looks like they're set up again. And here's Bailey. He kicks it. Oh, it takes a Ravens bounce. But then it bounces off of Dolphins player and then kind of bounces back to where the Ravens player was. So the Ravens will start at the 50. There's a flag down. Holding on the Ravens, so that's going to push them back 10 yards. So the Ravens will probably start this drive from their own 40. So all in all, a decent punt given they were at their own 6-yard line. But the possession football needs to move. Dun dun. Ravens up 21-6 here in the third quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Destatron channel on YouTube Live. I'm starting to look forward a little bit towards next week. We've got the Bears at the Bengals, and I picked the Bengals to win this one, I believe, in my picks. As I said, I'm still very suspect of the Chicago Bears. Just don't think, I don't think they're a complete team yet. They have potential, but I don't think Caleb Williams has actually taken it to that next level yet. I think that, now, to be fair, the Bengals defense is awful. So if there is a defense for him to carve up, it would be this one. But yeah, I do have the Bengals winning that one. Minnesota versus Detroit. The Lions, I have winning that one. Minnesota, I witnessed them against the Chargers. Absolute, utter disaster of a game. So yeah, I don't see the Vikings winning that. I haven't heard if McCarthy's going to play that one, but it's definitely not Wentz. So it's either going to be McCarthy or it's going to be Max Brommer, it looks like he's a local kid. He's a rookie out of Minnesota. So it sounds kind of like how Adam Thielen was from Minnesota, and he got onto the team as an undrafted free agent. But yeah, he's made a pretty good career for himself considering he was undrafted. The Panthers at the Packers. I know. Excuse me. I know who I want to win, but the Packers, I think, they're gonna win that one. Our offensive line is not going to be able to keep that defensive line in check. And yeah, I think the Packers are going to get that one. The week 1 Packers-Lions was a fraudy game. I think any week 1 game you have to take with a grain of salt because teams don't know what to expect from each other. And they're still figuring out, especially with not playing much preseason now, they're getting the kinks out of like their system. So I think the Lions had some growing pains. That is a run by Derrick Henry for about 9 yards on first down, getting close to midfield. So yes, but it was at Packers. I think you're going to see a lot more of a competitive game when it's in Detroit. That I think will be a very interesting game to see how that one plays out, because for real, the Lions are playing a lot better than they did in that first game. All right, Jackson pitches it to Keaton Mitchell. He's going to get the first, about a 3-yard gain there. So the Ravens, they haven't been giving Derrick Henry a ton of carries in this game. He's got 11, but then Keaton Mitchell has 2. They've had Justice Hill in the backfield on a couple plays, but he might be more of their pass-catching back. We're almost under 5 minutes to play in the third. It's a 21-6 lead for the Ravens over the Dolphins. And there's a stoppage in play here at the 5:09 mark. Timeout by Miami. Oh, I don't know if you want that right now. You're down by 15. You're going to need those timeouts later. I hate it when teams take timeouts in the first quarter or the third quarter. You need to be more disciplined than that and not take timeouts. You need them later in the game. Yeah, take a quick look at how my fantasy teams are doing. I think I've got a couple of Ravens here. All right, we've got 1st and 10. Jackson throws. Oh, he's got Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers got it into the down to the 10 or 9 yard line. This is going to be 1st and goal for Baltimore. Thought that might have been going for a touchdown, but not quite. Yeah, Flowers gets behind the, I think it was a linebacker who's matched on him. That's definitely a mismatch. So Zay Flowers able to get it. And yeah, he got it to the 9 yard line. And the Ravens, goal to go again. And if they get a touchdown here, that's a 3-possession advantage and might be a little out of the reach for the Dolphins. Jackson steps up, throws, and he's got a touchdown, but there is a flag. The touchdown is to Bateman, but let's see what the call is. 9-yard touchdown pass to Rashad Bateman. It's holding on the defense, so this is going to stand. The Ravens get another touchdown. 27-6 over the Dolphins. So that's Lamar Jackson's 4th touchdown pass of the game. Now, my fantasy teams, I've got him in a few of my dynasty leagues. I'm going to be very happy to have him back. And there's Loop kicking it through the upright for the extra point. So it's 28-6. Ravens over the Dolphins with, let's see, 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel and YouTube Live. So, you know my AFC one already. I do think, unfortunately, it's the Chiefs. I think they're getting hot at the right time. I think they're getting healthy at the right time. I see Mahomes and the offense working better. I see the defense playing better. And when they're able to actually have firepower, I think it really was the turning point for me, was that victory, the decisive victory against the Lions. The Lions, one of the hottest teams in the league. Going into that game, they completely shut them down. And then they've just been winning ever since. So and they've got Rashee Rice back now. I think that Kansas City might run the table and get that division. I think they're definitely going to win the division, and give them that, and don't pit them against the Bengals in the playoffs. Mahomes in January, they find ways to win. So I do think that the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. And the NFC, that's a whole different story. But I think I'm going with Detroit right now. I've liked what the Lions have been able to show from an offensive firepower perspective, and I feel like they've been more consistent for the most part. They just had that one game against the Chiefs where, and of course the week 1 game against the Packers where they didn't really show up. And the Chiefs game, a couple of things just didn't go their way in the beginning, and then they got behind and just weren't really able to recover. So I think that the Lions are the best team in the NFC. You could argue the Eagles, but I've seen the Eagles be a little sluggish in a lot of their games, and so I find them kind of hit or miss. They've found ways to win. I think their record could be a lot worse than it is right now, though, if certain things didn't fall their way. So I don't think the Eagles are the best team in the conference. I would give that to Detroit. What do you have, Bill? Who are your 2 top teams in the AFC and the NFC? 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third. Baltimore just got another touchdown, and things are looking pretty dire for the Dolphins. They lead 28-6. And this is going to be returned. That's Eskridge getting it to the 30-yard line. So the Dolphins absolutely have to get something going on this possession. Last possession, they just went backwards, had a 7-yard sack on the first play and couldn't recover from it. But yeah, the Dolphins have just kind of been shooting themselves in the foot today. Colts and Eagles, yeah, I feel like the Colts could be the best team in the AFC. I just don't believe it yet. Tua's under center, 1st and 10 from their own 30. Fakes the handoff to Achane, throws, he completes it. That's Wilson, I believe. And he's going to push forward, gets it to about the 48-yard line. Oh, that's Westbrook-Akine. Gets it pushed forward to about the 48-yard line, so that's about an 18-yard gain. Under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Oh, possession football needs to move. Dun dun. 28-6. Ravens over the Dolphins. Tua under center. It's for the 47. Sorry, not the 48. And that's going to be about a 1-yard gain for Achane. Runs into number 98. Travis Jones. I think he might have been the guy who got the interception last year and knew the Ravens had won the game and just slid down instead of trying to run it. He's like, I'm big. I want to go home. Game's over. We're under 3 minutes to play in the third. 2nd and 9 for Miami. Do they have a comeback in them? It's 28-6. They're down by 22. 3 possessions. But yeah, this game could be a lot closer if they just capitalized on their opportunities. And Tua throwing the ball behind another receiver, throws it behind Achane. Third and 9. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third. All right, Tua out of the shotgun. And did they take a timeout because the play clock was running low? They did. They have 1 timeout left. They're down 22 with 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter. And they only have the ability to stop the clock 1 more time. So, yeah, the Ravens, their upcoming schedule, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, those are all winnable games, and the Steelers, and then the Bengals immediately after that. They win all those games, they're gonna be at the top of the division. So yeah, they've got a chance, they've got a real chance to turn this season around. Bad start, but they can recover. And here's Tua out of the shotgun, throws. Westbrook-Akine started running with it before he secured it. Incomplete. And the Dolphins probably gonna punt again. For those of you tuning in, thanks for spending some of your evening with me. This is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to get notified of all the videos we post. Here's the punt. It goes out of bounds at, the ref is going to mark it at the 15-yard line, it looks like. Possession football, it needs to move. Dun dun. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third. 28-6 Ravens over the Dolphins. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Yeah, so, Bill, that's kind of... I don't know if they're going to charger it. I mean, they did against the Bills, but I think I was only 15. So I feel like if the Ravens get another touchdown here and then the Dolphins can't respond to it, I'm going to consider this game probably over and might end the stream. We'll see how this plays out, but yeah, if it's going to be the Dolphins floundering, for lack of a better term here, that'll probably be where I end the stream. Which I was proud of myself. If you look at the description of this video, I did say that the Dolphins were floundering, and I felt that it was a pretty good fish pun. But yeah, looking forward to next week a little bit more. Chargers and Titans. I think anyone against the Titans, Chargers are a team that's prone to choking, so maybe they'll find a way to lose to the Titans. But I doubt it. Chargers, I have winning that one. Falcons at Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to win that one. Falcons just not particularly good on the road. 49ers, New York. I don't know. I think New York got a lot of the wind taken out of their sails by the Scattaboo injury. I think I've got San Francisco winning that one. The Colts versus the Steelers. I have the Colts winning that one, but it is at Pittsburgh. You don't know. They might be able to pull out the win there. Pittsburgh's definitely a more difficult opponent than the Colts have had to face as of late. So the Ravens, they start at their own 15-yard line. Lamar Jackson hands it off to Derrick Henry, tries to go up the middle, but then pumps it outside to the right, and he's got some room to work with, gets it all the way to the Dolphins' 49-yard line. Big gain for Derrick Henry on the ground, his first big gain of the night. And yeah, this Dolphins defense, their offense is doing them no favors. It is getting tired. Yeah, I agree. So it's funny you mentioned that, because I feel like Kirk Cousins is like the absolute, well, before he started playing really bad, before that was like the absolute definition of like an average NFL quarterback. And so, yeah, the Falcons are kind of like the definition of an average team, but I don't think they do it by winning games close and losing games close. It's more of a, you don't know what to expect. They're going to either play really well or they're going to play really lousy. And that's what kind of evens out to like the 8-9, 9-8 record. So there was a run by, I believe, Keaton Mitchell for 1 yard on that first down. 2nd and 9. Now, I believe they're at the 48-yard line of the Dolphins. Sorry, the 49-yard line of the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson out of the shotgun, hands it off to Justice Hill. That's going to get about 2. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 7. If they run this below 40 on the game clock, this will be the last play of the quarter if it's not an incomplete pass. 28-6, Ravens over the Dolphins. And they do indeed have it under 40 seconds. So if they just run here or they complete a pass that basically they don't have an incomplete pass, it'll run the quarter out. Jackson going long, not able to get it to Hopkins, so it's incomplete. 4th and 7 with 26 seconds on the clock. So Ravens will probably punt here. Yeah, that's the first time we've called DeAndre Hopkins' name all night. Jackson gave him a long throw there. Yeah, after going to the Titans, DeAndre Hopkins had one good season there and then kind of dropped off a cliff. But that tends to be what happens with skill players in their later years. They are fine until they're not. And that's a fair catch by the Dolphins at like the 7-yard line. So Miami not out of it yet, but it's not looking too great. Few seconds left in the third quarter. The possession football moves. Dun dun. Yeah, Hopkins hasn't really done anything since like his second year with the Titans. But yes, he is on the Ravens this year. And yeah, Hopkins had a chance to win a Super Bowl last year. Didn't happen and had an atrocious drop in the Super Bowl. Nothing went right for the Chiefs in that game. Yeah, I feel like the Super Bowls that the Chiefs have lost, it's just been like everything goes wrong for them. And here's a pass to Malik Washington. He's able to slip a tackle and gets it out to the 30-yard line, I believe. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Hey, we've seen crazier things. We've seen the Broncos score 33 in one quarter. Can the Dolphins do something similar? We'll have to find out in this fourth quarter. It's 28-6, Ravens over the Dolphins here on Thursday Night Football. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. But continuing to look at the slate of games, we've got the Broncos over the Texans at the Texans. I have the Texans winning that one at home. People were calling me out in my video for hating the Broncos on that, which, to be fair, I do hate the Broncos. But also, I think the Texans have a chance to pull off that upset. The Denver Broncos, their offense has been a little up and down, and you saw when they played over in London, they weren't really able to get anything going against the Jets, and the Texans have a really good defense. So I would not be surprised if the Texans pull off the home victory against the Broncos. We've got the Jaguars and the Raiders. I hope that this is a get-right game for the Jaguars, because the Raiders, in my opinion, are the second worst team in the league. They are just free-falling right now. Geno Smith looks terrible. Ashton Genty has not lived up to his potential as a top first round pick. Yeah, I think the Jaguars, they need to come out and show that they can win that game decisively. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of questions about their credibility after starting out 4-1 on the season. We've got the Saints and the Rams. I mean, the Saints, they fight with a lot of heart, but the Rams, I think, are just going to be too much for them. I have the Rams winning that one. The game of the week, Chiefs at Bills. So I'm being a little facetious here, but I do actually think the Bills will win, and it's coming from all their momentum from proving their dominance over the Carolina Panthers. That's going to fuel them to a victory over their hated AFC rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. Plus, the Bills tend to win the regular season versions of those games, whereas the Chiefs, they win it when it matters in the playoffs. So I could definitely see the Bills winning that one. We've got Seattle at Washington for Sunday Night Football. I've got Seattle winning that one. Doesn't sound like Jaden Daniels is going to be back for that game, and I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to run the offense efficiently enough. So I have Kansas City winning that one. Or sorry, not Kansas City. Seattle winning that one. And then on Monday Night Football, it's the Cardinals at the Cowboys. And Dallas playing really well at home this year. Actually, I'm going to check their record, but I think they might be... okay. They're not undefeated. They have a tie. The tie to the Green Bay Packers. But I think besides that, they've won all their home games. All right, we've got Tua in the shotgun. Throws underneath to Dulcich. That's going to be about a gain of 6 as we start the fourth quarter. 28-6 Ravens over the Dolphins. We've got Tua out of the shotgun on a 2nd and 4. He had Malik Washington in motion, throws to Westbrook Akine. He's going to get the first down by 1 yard, so 1st and 10 for Miami. Trying to do a hurry up, keep the offensive momentum going. Tua out of the shotgun has Achane to his left. Tua lobs it for Achane on the wheel. Oh, he got him! That was a nice pass thrown right into the breadbasket of Achane. He was able to run underneath it. It's 1st and 10 for Miami. They're moving down the field, but we've seen this all game. Dolphins moving up and down the field, but not scoring when it matters, when they get into the red zone. Yeah, no, I agree, Bill. This season has been crazy. It's hard to really determine who's good or who's not, and it is... You got to wonder, one of those years where maybe you do see an Indianapolis Colts with Daniel Jones quarterbacking them get to the Super Bowl. Weird things happen in the NFL sometimes. Looks like they might be taking another look at this completion. It moves a little bit, but I don't know if that's enough evidence to overturn it. We'll see if it does seem like the Ravens are challenged that. I apologize for the yawning. I got up to go to the gym at like 5:30 this morning, so I'm getting a little tired. But yeah, still got plenty of energy to get to the end. Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it all night. They've been choking in the red zone, so wouldn't surprise me there. Now, the Achane pass is being reviewed, so it is possible that, Achane reception is being reviewed, so it could come back. Anything interesting in the standings here? No, nothing really moved, except the Ravens are no longer bottom of the division. That honor goes to the Browns. Everything else in the AFC stayed pretty much the same. Cowboys move into 2nd place in the division, ahead of the Commanders. So that's new. The NFC West keeps shuffling up every week. We've got the Seahawks at 1, the Rams at 2, the 49ers at 3. Those 3 teams are going to keep beating each other up. The Cardinals, they keep losing all these close games, but they could actually have a much better record if they could have just finished out some of them, including against the AFC leading Indianapolis Colts. Now, one thing I will say about Indianapolis is that a mark of a good team is even when they're having one of those trap games like they were against the Arizona Cardinals, they found a way to win it. And yeah, that's a sign of a good team, because even when you're not playing your best or you get in a shootout, you're still able to find a way to win the game. NFC North, the Bears are no longer the bottom, the Vikings are. NFC South, with the Panthers 4-4 record, we are still 2nd place because the Falcons can't figure out how to win a game. The Bucks, they're faltering a little bit. They won against the they come back and they do rule the pass to Achane incomplete. They say it moved, and okay, I guess that is a good angle there. His hand kind of moved out from under it, and so they're saying that it hit the ground. 2nd and 10, 14:02 to play in the 4th. Tua out of the shotgun, throws a quick patch to Dulcich, and he gets it down to about a 3rd and 1. Sounds good, Bill. We've got a 3rd and 1 upcoming. Tua out of the shotgun. Steps up. Throw! Oh, almost intercepted by Roquan Smith, but not quite. Tua had his man, but didn't get enough height on the pass, and Roquan Smith almost comes up with the interception. Yeah, Roquan Smith gets in the passing lane, saw where Tua's eyes were going for Eskridge there. And this is a no-brainer for Mike McDaniel on 4th and 1. You gotta go for this to have any chance in this game. The Dolphins are 0 for 1 on 4th downs today. It was kind of they bring the heat, and it looks like Cedric Wilson caught the ball. So that's a 1st down for Miami. They keep the drive going. Yeah, just a really quick slant route. Marlon Humphrey's on Wilson, but can't prevent Wilson from getting the reception there. The Ravens brought a lot of pressure, so you had man-to-man on the outside there. Tua gives him a chance, and Cedric Wilson makes the play. Tua throws. It's complete to Waddle for a gain of about 8. Waddle having a pretty good night. Yeah, Waddle 5 receptions for 69 yards, long of 24. Tua, they bring Hamilton on the blitz, and he just dirts this one. 3rd and 2 upcoming. 12:24 left to play in the 4th. All right, 3rd and 2 upcoming. Oh, they're calling Tua's dirting of the ball intentional grounding. Yeah, no receiver in the area, they're saying, as he rolled out. I feel like Achane was close to it, but wasn't really intended. He threw it the opposite direction of where Achane was running, so maybe that's what they said. But it is a 3rd and 12. That's going to make things a lot more difficult for Miami here. Hamilton showing like he might blitz. Here's Tua. Hamilton does not blitz. Tua able to evade some pressure, rolls out to his left and just slides down after 2. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 10, and they got to go for this. They've got 3 possessions to make up here. All right, 4th and 11 is the official ruling. Tua throws. Oh, it's complete to a wide open Jalen Waddle for the 1st down. So they keep the drive going. Was able to get some separation against Wiggins. Forget what his first name was, but I think it's like his 2nd year in the league. Welcome back, Bill. All right, the Dolphins drive is still going. Oh, hit away by Wiggins, but he might get flagged for interference there. Kind of came over the top of Westbrook Akine there. It is indeed pass interference, so that'll be a first down for the Dolphins, and that gets them into the red zone. Might even be goal to go. Maybe not quite. I think that happened at like the 13-yard line. Yeah, it's a good call. Wiggins gets contact early there, and he reaches over the top. Not really missed anything, just a fourth down conversion by the Dolphins, and they've kept this drive going. All right, it's a handoff to Malik Washington on the jet sweep. Oh, he fumbled! He fumbled. Was he down? Oh, are the Dolphins? Yeah, they rule it for the Ravens. Did the Dolphins fumble in the red zone again? Is that another red zone miscue by Miami? Let's watch the replay. Oh, it's out. It's way out. Not even close. No disputing that. Gets punched out by Marlon Humphrey. And yeah, so now both Washington wide receivers, it was Taj Washington and now Malik Washington, they both have a fumble. And now the possession football moves over to Baltimore. Dun dun. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. We post great content all the time. If you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to our channel to be notified of all of our videos. I post on Mondays reactions to the previous week's Carolina Panthers game because I am a big Carolina Panthers fan. Even though we're awful, I am still a big fan. On Tuesdays, I post my game picks. On Wednesdays, I post my power rankings. And on Thursdays, I stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. We've got a little bit of a stinker here today. 28-6 Ravens over the Dolphins. Dolphins not really putting up much of a fight, although the game could be a lot closer if the Dolphins didn't have 3 red zone miscues. A missed field goal, a fumble, and a failed fourth down conversion. And they also had a fumble within their own, it ended up getting ran back to their own 10-yard line. I think it was fumbled at about like the 27 or something. It was ran back to their own 7. So they had a fumble deep within their own territory, which basically gifted the Ravens 7 points. So this game, it feels like one of those games that could have played out a lot differently if Miami had just executed better. But when you've been hearing the reports about all these team player-only meetings and players not going to the player-only meetings, when it comes down to execution, that's a lot about culture and discipline. And the Dolphins, they don't really seem to have it tonight, and they haven't had it all season. So there might be a major shakeup in the offseason for Miami. Yeah, it's all the red zone. They move between the 20s fine, but when they get into the red zone, they just completely choke. 28-6 Ravens over the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson is a pitch to Derrick Henry, and he's on the left side. He's got a first down and more. That's about an 18-yard run, gets it close to the 30-yard line. Yeah, out of the I formation there, Derrick Henry able to get a head of steam going down north. And yeah, once he gets going with a full head of steam, it's hard to bring him down. It's approaching 100 rushing yards on the day. He's at 94 right now. Lamar Jackson under center. Hands it off to Henry, going on the right side, gets about 2. As we're about under 10 minutes to play, I think if the Ravens score on this drive, I'm probably going to call the stream. Because it's pretty clear that the Ravens are probably going to win this game. But we'll give this another Ravens drive, see what happens. But yeah, Miami, they've had chances to make this a game, but just haven't been able to get it going. Jackson under center. Fakes the pitch. He's got some guys in the backfield, but was able to avoid them and scrambles it for about 3. So this is going to be a 3rd down coming up. Clock under 9.5 to play. Third and 5 as we tick under 9 minutes to play. Lamar Jackson out of the shotgun. He's got Justice Hill to his right. DeAndre Hopkins moves in motion. Jackson trying to follow. Oh, he's going to get sacked. So the Dolphins keeping themselves alive, I guess. But the Ravens are chewing up some clock here. They got 1 first down on that possession. We'll see if Miami can do anything with this. Down 3 possessions. 8.5 to play in the game. I believe that was Phillips who got the sack. And the Ravens, they're out to punt. And here's the punt. It's angling towards the left side of the field. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Goes out at about the 19-yard line of Miami. So a good punt. Miami, this might be their last chance to have any shot at this one. They trailed. Oh, possession football needs to move. Dun dun. They trail the Ravens by 22, 28-6. With, I believe, 8-something left to play. 8:01 left to play in the 4th quarter. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. But yeah, maybe this final Dolphins drive, I'll just do voices instead of my announcer voice. Maybe I'll just do silly voices for the play-by-play call. Let me think of what I've got. So got Optimus Prime, Walter White, yeah, Emperor Palpatine. Can do a bad sounding Obi-Wan. Oh yeah, probably pretty bad Jean-Luc Picard, but space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. It's a little too deep, and it's just not Patrick Stewart. All right, for this final Dolphins drive, well, not final, but I don't think they'll have much of a chance if they don't get anything on here, so we'll have Optimus Prime do it. Tua throws, completes to Achan after 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 8. We tick down under 7.5 to play. If the Dolphins do not pull this off, the Decepticons will take over the earth. 2nd and 6. Tua, back to throw. Throws, complete to Washington. Washington making up for his last mistake. He made a grave mistake on the last play. He fumbled in the red zone for another Dolphins miscue. Yeah, I know I've got more. I was thinking of the voices I can do to a decent degree, like offline and whatnot, but I never wrote them down. So I'm like, oh, I could probably do that like live, but not thinking of them offhand right now. Throws, it was complete to Westbrook Akine, but incomplete. 2nd down upcoming. Let's give Walter White a shot here. We're coming up on 2nd down. I have more important things to do than commentate on a football game. I have an empire to run. But if I must, Tua is back in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Surveys, throws long. And he's going to be intercepted by Malachi Starks. That is not how you play the game, Tua. You just throw one up. And that one is going to basically seal this game with 6.5 to play. All right. Yep, that possession football is going to move. Dun dun. And yeah, I would say that there's a flag. What is that going to do? Was it on Baltimore or was it on the return? Might be on the return. If it's on the return, I'm going to say this game is pretty much over. Yeah, Tua tries to hit one long, but if you're going long, why are you throwing to your wide receiver 4, Taj Washington? It's not like he even had that great of position anyway. Yeah, so it looks like the interception is going to stand. Maybe they're calling like a blindside block on Kyle Hamilton there. All right, but yeah, that does look like it's Ravens ball. And with that, I'm going to be one of those fans and walk out of the stadium because it seems like this one's pretty much done. Wrapping up this stream right now. But thanks for joining everyone who joined tonight. And our next stream will be next Thursday night football game for... Let's take a look at the schedule. That is week 10 schedule. It's going to be the Raiders at the Broncos. Oh. Maybe. Oh, you know what? I will probably switch that one up. So instead of doing Raiders Broncos, I'm going to do Eagles Packers on Monday the 10th. I think that looks decent. Let me see. Yeah, no, that should probably work. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to stream Eagles Packers on Monday Night Football on November 10th instead of doing the Broncos at the Raiders, because we know that the Broncos are probably just going to pummel the crap out of the Raiders on that one. So I will post that on my YouTube communities, when it's official, but I think that's probably what I'm going to do. But yeah, thanks for everyone who's joining. The Ravens are just running out the clock here. It's going to be a win. They get a first down here on the pass to Kolar. They're just going to keep this clock running. They are going to win this game. They're up 28-6. Dolphins had a chance, just couldn't take advantage of their opportunities. They kept making mistakes at every turn. But thanks for everyone who turned in. This has been the Dustytron channel signing out for tonight. Thanks, everyone. Have a